Welcome to All the Answers podcast, and boom, I can't believe you're here. I didn't know so many people were fans of the podcast, hanging out on social media, but apparently people are starting to watch. People have questions. Producer Ben here at Podcast Junkies. Ben, it's kind of shocking. They've got questions, yeah?
It's unbelievable. I tell you this all the time, and I deal with a lot of clients that are working and trying to grow their podcast, and Matt, your podcast is growing exponentially, and it's because people want the truth. They want all the answers.
All the answers. And you've got some questions. Yeah. Hopefully, I have no idea what you're going to ask, but why don't we today try and get some of these questions out of the way? And by the way, hi. If you're seeing the podcast for the first time, did we just become best friends? We did. All the Answers podcast. I am always happy to do my best to get you all the answers. So reach out, DM, whatever platform you're on, leave a comment, leave a message. Producer Ben will ask them. I'll try and get you all the answers. But do we have some questions?
Yes.
What do we got?
All right. So, like I said, the emails have been coming in. First question comes from Andy. Andy from Arkansas.
Andy in Arkansas.
Andy from Arkansas. He wants to know how to get his life back on track after a divorce that happened 6 months ago.
Okay.
He's a single dad. He feels stuck. He wants to be a greater father. He wants to make a lot more money. And he also wants to find the woman of his dreams. Ooh. What does he need to know?
Small Andy. Just a little tiny question there. Boy, Producer Ben, you're hitting me with the big ones right away. You asked the right person, Andy from Arkansas, and I'm not saying that to be an egomaniac. I am not saying that to brag about myself. I am saying that you asked the right person for this question because when you're in a situation, it was divorce, right, Ben?
Yep, divorce.
Single dad?
Yep.
Wants more money, wants the woman, I'm guessing, of his dreams, whatever that situation is. When you ask your friends and family when you're down in a hole like this, probably the worst group of people you could ask this question to. Why? They love you just the way you are. And most of the time, they love you miserable, especially if it's your friends, because they're not going to admit it. They might not even understand it. But friends love it when their other friends aren't doing as great as they are. So I've never met you, Andy. If I was to go to Arkansas and I was going to give you some unfiltered advice, here's what I would recommend. You went through a divorce. It sucks. I don't know. What's the percentage, Ben? Most people?
Yeah.
Most?
Yeah.
More than not have to do this at least once in their life. I get it. I'm with you. I understand. You're down in the dumps. You had that divorce. You want to make more money. You want to be a great dad. You want to meet the woman of your dreams. Okay. You can do all of that. But it's going to require some sacrifice. And here's the sacrifice. Here's what I would recommend that you do. First off, meditate, okay? And I want you to visualize, what does your perfect life look like? Let's just call it 5 years out. Let's be realistic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. Okay, what does that life look like? What are you doing for work? How much money are you making? What kind of car are you driving? And most importantly, I think he said woman of his dreams. Yes, Ben?
Yep.
Woman of your dreams. Map that out. Okay, what does she look like? What does she act like? What does she do for a living? What are her values? All right, now here's the hard part. All right, once you've figured out where you want to go, you're in a kind of a hole here with the divorce, especially being a single parent. You got to silo the hell out of your life. And here's what I mean by that. You're going to create a silo for your career. And that might not be the job that you have right now. That might be, what is the stuff that I need to do to get the career that I want? So I'm going to do my regular job, but then I'm going to do some other stuff, okay? Then you're going to have a silo for your personal well-being. Maybe that's working out. Maybe you're going to get fit. Maybe you're going to, feel better about yourself. And then you're going to have a silo for figuring out, how do I get in front of, how do I meet this woman of my dreams? Where do people like that hang out? What do they do? And now is where the sacrifice comes in, okay? Unless you are being a dad, unless you're reading a story, helping with homework. I don't know how old Andy's kid or kids are. Unless you are being a father or you're at your current career, all that other crap, it's gone. It's out the door. Okay, we're not catching up on Stranger Things. We're not watching any shows. Any and all of your free time is spent either developing your career, making yourself better, faster, stronger, more fit, more healthy, or finding that person of your dreams. When we go through a divorce, it's not about the stuff that we do as much as all of the crap that you've been doing all along. You have to shed that. You have to get rid of it. It's probably going to mean you're not going to hang out with your friends as much. You're for sure not going to go to the axe throwing bar where you met the person that you married, right? Oh, I hate her. And I'm just going to go right back to that place where they throw axes and meet the next one. You are spending all of your time either working your job or working on your next job, working yourself so you're better, and finding out where that person is, who she is, what is she all about, where does she hang out. You're going to sacrifice everything else. If it does not have to deal with you making more money and having the job of your dreams, finding the woman of your dreams, you getting better, and then the thing that trumps everything, your parenting, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot more time on your hands, and you're going to use that time constructively, Andy. That's what I would do if I was you. And if you do it, I guarantee you, you will not recognize yourself in 5 years.
Wow. That Andy's going to definitely take, come on, Andy, you got to take all
It's hard. It's easy to say, it's hard to do, right? Because then we end up on the same, we're scrolling the same crap. We're arguing about the same stuff. We're at the damn same axe throwing bar. Knock it all off, Andy. You're going to redevelop yourself. It's not that hard. You can do it. I believe in you.
I love it. All right. So now I got another one. We got Richard from Connecticut.
Richard from Connecticut. I don't know if I've been to Connecticut in a long time. Connecticut. All right, Richard.
Richard from Connecticut.
All right, what's he got?
Asks how to land a higher paying role. He works as a project manager at a software company and earns about $140,000 a year.
Okay.
He wants to make $250,000 in 2026. How does he do it?
Okay, so what is he making right now?
$140,000.
140. Okay, he's project manager.
Project manager at a software company.
Software. All right. Okay, cool. So here's the problem that everybody faces. If maybe you're not a project manager, maybe you're not making 140, you want to get to 250. Here's something where we screw up on. Okay. So we say, I want to get a better job in 2026, right? And so we put our resume out there. You go apply for stuff. You know what happens a lot of time? Your current employer sees that, right? And then you're in a real pickle. Here's the cool thing. He wants to jump from 140 to 250. My guess is with project managers, that might be an astronomical jump. Here's what I would do. What's his name? Richard. Here's what I would do if I was Richard. Okay. I would I'd start figuring out the organizations that I want to work for. Okay. And I would raise my hand. Hey, just wanted to introduce myself. Man, there is something going on that every software company's having to deal with. Nobody's talking about it. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of it. I'd go to all the networking conferences. I'd go to all the shows, the places where software companies hang out. And then I'd probably bring up an idea with them like this. Man, it's so tough right now in software because it's so difficult to find people that can execute. I mean, especially I see this on the project management side. One bad project manager, an entire thing gets derailed. I mean, a huge fan of what you guys are doing. How are you dealing with that in terms of trying to find the right people to drive your organization forward, right? Ask that question. They'll tell you, oh my God, it's tough. Hiring people is almost impossible. Just out of curiosity, where are you guys at right now in terms of revenue for the organization? Where do you want to be? Man, we really want to, we're just hit $100 million. We want to be $1 billion company. Man, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. Hey, anything you need in terms of, talking to somebody about project management, a huge fan of what you guys do. Would love to potentially join your team down the road, even if you just want to bounce an idea off of a project manager that lives and breathes project management, just lays in bed at night thinking, how can I get this project done ahead of schedule and under budget? Like, let me shoot you over my contact information. Then the next thing you know, they're probably going to reach out to Richard. Was it Richard? I think it was Richard. Richard, they're going to reach out to you. And they're, hey, we got a question. We got a new piece of app. We got a new development. We're kind of looking for a project manager. Now you're in a position because why? You created that role, Richard. It didn't already exist. You're not interviewing for a job. You just created a job. And you'll find that when you want to do a big jump like he's doing, 140 to 250, the best way to do that is to make a connection with somebody, let them know the problem, make it glaringly obvious that you are the solution to the problem, and then it's pretty easy for you to write your own team. We'd love to bring you on our team. I don't know. I mean, I'd really have to be in the $250,000 a year to really make the switch. Well, let's make it happen. Awesome. Now you're hired. Don't go and just apply for jobs because you're gainfully employed. You're happy with your job. It's probably not going to go well for you. Hopefully that helps, Richard.
I think Richard's going to benefit from that very much so, especially, software. It's there's so much money in that.
100%.
So much money.
So, but if you wait for the job to be a job, they're going to be like, we're not paying that much, right? We've got a whole bucket of candidates we can go through that will take the job for $140, which is what Richard's making right now.
Exactly. All right, so we got another question. This is Jessica from Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania. All right.
Jessica asks, what's the fastest way to increase her income without changing jobs?
Okay, so she's the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, so she loves it. She loves where she's at. She's super happy. I love it. I'm glad you're happy. But you want to make more money. All right. Here's the thing that I'm going to tell you that your leadership at your company won't. Okay? I'm going to tell you what every leader wants. They want an employee, they want an associate, they want a team member that brings them new information and new ideas. Now, I want you to combine that. What was her name, Jessica? Jessica, I want you to combine that with this. Do they know you want to make more money, right? It is okay for you to tell them, I am bought in. I love working here. I drank the Kool-Aid. I'll get the company logo tattooed. I'm freaking love it here. I also want to make some more money. Right? You combine that with constantly bringing new information, new ideas, let them know you want to make more money, and then don't be a little victim and be like, well, I don't want to do anything unless you're going to pay me. What can I do? I want to contribute more. How can I help with that? Anytime you see the company faltering, jump in. Anytime somebody doesn't show up for something, jump in. Let them know, A, you're a team player. B, you're thinking big picture and you're bringing them new information and new ideas. Here's what I'm seeing going on, right? I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. And for sure, let them know in a nice way, you love it here. You want to make more money, you want to help the company, and you just really see your future at that company. And you'll be shocked at how it doesn't take much of that before they're going to go, Jessica, we got an idea, right? We want to put you in a bigger role. We love having you here at the company, and we want to help you make more money. Just let them know that. It's so funny, Producer Bennett, how many employees sit around and they whine and they cry and they feel like they should be paid more, but they haven't even told anybody that they love the company, they love being there, and that they want to be paid more. In life, guys, you stand an exponentially better chance of getting what you want when you ask for it. And if you ask for it in the right way, you'll get it for sure.
And that's really unbelievable because, I guess growing up, seeing my parents do the same thing, and then they just always had to do that. They always had to go into work. There was never a chance for them to say, hey, I deserve more, or I should get a raise. And then once you do that, all you had to do was just ask.
The whole time.
He says the whole time.
It was right there the whole time.
You wanted more money?
The whole time. Yeah.
You've been in the company for 10 years. Of course.
And it's okay. There's a big difference. And I want to be clear. And Ben, you bring up a great point. There's a huge difference between you walking into your boss's office or your leadership's office pissed off and saying, I deserve more money, or worse, you need to give me more money or else. And you saying, man, it's like when I remember my wife, Heather. We were dating, okay, and we were on the same page. I knew I loved her the moment I saw her. She had a very difficult, wasn't super difficult because we were on the same page, conversation with me very early in our dating. And she's like, hey, I like this. This is awesome. I'm super happy with you, Matt. We have so much fun together. Here's the deal. Like, I want a child. Like, I want to build something. She let me know she was happy with her relationship with me and she was ready for more. It just takes the guesswork out of it. You can do the same thing with your career. Let them know, I love the company. I love it here. Right? I see myself here long term, and I want to make more money, and I want to help grow this company. And you'll be shocked at how when they see you're on the same page, they'll want to get married to you too.
Great. You are right.
Is that it? Do we have any more? We got more?
Oh, we got a bunch more. I mean, they're just coming in, the emails. So real quick. So, all right, I got Lauren from Houston, Texas.
H-Town. Is it H-Town?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think so.
Lauren wants to know what she needs to stop doing immediately if she wants to like herself more.
Oh, this is hard. Because you know who our biggest enemy is?
Yeah.
Right? It's ourselves, right? We're our own critics. And this is something I'm working on right now too. So I'm not just giving advice that I'm not trying to do. I want to like myself more as well in one kind of unorthodox way. I mean, do all the normal stuff, Lauren, like make good decisions, do good things for yourself. But one of the things that zero people talk about, or at least I haven't heard them talk about, Lauren, if you stop complaining and you stop talking shit about other people, I think, and I'm not a neuroscientist, but I think there's an area of your brain when you're complaining about politics, when you're complaining about the news, you're talking about this and you're upset because your latte was a latte and wasn't hot, wasn't cold. When you're a negative person and a complaint-oriented person, your brain can't tell the difference between you talking smack about your friend Crazy Andy and you talking smack about yourself. Your brain is just negative, negative, negative. So what I would do if I was Lauren from H-Town is I would try and go on a little bit of a diet here and see if I could go a day, 2 days without being negative. And I don't mean negative to yourself. I mean negative with everything, right? Negative, and if that means not watching the news, great. If that means changing the conversation when a relative calls you or a friend calls you, you're going to have to do that. But I have a feeling, Lauren, if you can go at least a day, okay, you're going to start feeling more better about yourself, because when you talk positive, when you focus on positive, you can't help but feel positive about yourself. I don't think it's possible to not like everybody else and everything that's going on in the world and talk smack about everybody else and everything that's going on in the world and not also feel bad about yourself and everything that's going on in the world. And you're with yourself. Hopefully that helps.
I think that's a huge thing because I think a lot of people are struggling with that.
100%. And I think and I don't want to talk smack because I love you if you follow me on social media, but I think the algorithms and stuff have a lot to do with that, right? And by the way, I think, and I'm not a tech person, you can retrain your algorithm. Like if you're feeling like, man, there's just a lot of negative stuff, just go tap on a bunch of puppy pictures and stupid stuff, and it will start. I think it kind of,
it does.
It kind of retrains it, 100%. Right?
100%.
Because it knows if you're going to constantly watch the thing about the politician that you hate, what is it going to do? It's going to feed you more of that. And you end up, it's a cheap thrill. You end up feeling bad about yourself in the long run. There's no good benefit comes from talking smack about other people. It's a cheap win. It doesn't work and you end up hating yourself.
And I'll give you another small little piece.
All right.
If you want to really change it, find like a 3-second video of like a cute animal or something and just put it and go do the laundry or something, because it's going to be playing.
And then the algorithm is like, man, you like happy stuff.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You might be like, I don't want to watch animals all the time. No, you want to feel better about yourself, right? You can use these tools. They're powerful stuff. Like you don't think the most highly paid people that understand how to mess with the dopamine in your brain are working on this. So turn it around and go, I care less about funny animal videos, but you know what? It's interesting when I don't watch the car crashes, I feel a little bit better about myself.
Exactly.
All
right, so I got Brian.
All right.
Now Brian is actually from Bellingham, Washington State.
Okay.
Pretty high up there. So
B money.
Yeah, Brian from Bellingham.
All right, Brian from Bellingham.
He asks how to rebuild self-respect after disappointing yourself.
Ooh, I wish I could ask him what the disappointment was, but I'll give a generalized answer here for B money. And by the way, you're awesome, Brian. I love hanging out with you. We're best friends, so you should feel better about yourself there. One of the things that I have realized that has helped me dramatically, and I wish I figured this out a lot sooner than I did, and that is this. When you've let yourself down, number one, sit with it for a second. Be like, I'm going to sit with this. I'm going to analyze this. I'm going to think about what I did wrong, okay? And then let it go. Now, here's the thing. It would be unrealistic for Brian from Bellingham to think, okay, well, I screwed up and now all of a sudden I'm going to win. What you need to start focusing on, Brian, is the activities and the actions in your life that lead to Brian from Bellingham being a better person, okay? And that's how you start to build your self-esteem. That's how you start to build your confidence. Not necessarily, I got a date, or I got this job, or I did this. It's, did I do the things today that are going to lead to that? Because guess what you can control? You can't control somebody wanting to go out with you. You can't control getting a job. I mean, you can a little bit, but at the end of the day, other people, other forces are in control of that. Here's what you can control: your actions. So my recommendation to Brian from Bellingham would be map out and start small. What are 3 things I'm going to do every day? Right? I'm going to wake up at this hour. I'm going to not eat this type of food, or I'm going to do a little bit of extra work at the office. And what you'll start to find is winning begets more winning, and you'll start to stack those small victories. What I think what ends up is heartbreaking is people get let down. They have a big tragedy. They have a big failure in their life, and they're like, I have to fix that. I got fired from a job. I have to have a new job. No, you don't. You just got to get out of bed tomorrow with a great attitude. Check, right? You got to make 3 calls to find a new job. Check. Focus on the activities, Brian from Bellingham, and I think you'll start to notice you'll have a lot more confidence. Hopefully. I know you will.
All right. Now we got Kevin from Kentucky. All right.
All right.
Kevin, he wants
We're getting a lot of their initials in the...
Oh, it's insane. I mean, when I'm looking at, I guess I can, for this next email that I'm looking at, I'll switch it up. But from Kevin from Kentucky, he wants to know...
I love it.
What to say in a job interview if you want to close the deal instead of hoping they call you back.
Have you ever had to interview for a job, producer Ben?
I have.
Or were you always a
No,
award-winning
I have.
owner of the greatest podcast studio? Shout out to Podcast Junkies. Ben, you actually worked another job like the rest of us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It sucks. Does it not suck waiting around for that call?
It's the worst.
The worst.
And you're like, why haven't they called me? I thought I killed it. They should have called me.
For sure, I killed it.
For sure.
I was expecting a call before I got to my car.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you need to do. And we could spend an hour talking about this. Maybe we'll do a whole episode on this. Here's where people screw up. They go to job interviews and they talk the whole time in the interview about themselves, how awesome they are, their background, how qualified they are, and they don't spend any time at all talking about their understanding of that company, that organization, the capabilities that they need in that role. They don't ask them, hey, where's this company at in terms of revenue? By the way, companies are in business for money, right? Where are we at in terms of revenue? Where do you want to be? Figure all that out. Now, that's not the answer to what was it, Kevin? To Kevin's question?
Yep.
Because he's already had the interview, all right? So if you don't want to wait around, hopefully you've been more skillful. You talked about their current situation, the capabilities they need in the role. Here's what you need to do. Ask them, hey, does it make, I believe based on my understanding, based on our conversation, and you can still have this question, you can still have this conversation right now, is, hey, I wanted to just reach out to you. I've been feeling really great about everything, been thinking a lot about our interview, and based on my understanding from our conversation, I believe I've got all the capabilities needed to get in this role and to get you guys your goals ahead of schedule. I just wanted to make sure that you knew I want the job. So number 1, let them know I want the job. Number 2, I am totally confident that I can do the job, that I have all the capabilities that you need. And number 3, does it make sense to put me in that role? Right? Just straight up ask them. It's so weird how we don't, back to the other questions, we don't ask for what we want in the life. Now when they say, no, got it, what's a good next step? We're going to interview some other candidates. Totally understand, right? What's a good next step for me, right? Well, we'll get back to you. Makes perfect sense. Hey, why don't we do this? It's Thursday today. I'll give you a buzz on Tuesday if I haven't heard from you before then. Fair enough? Right? Take control of the situation. You should always, and this is something I teach in my sales coaching business, leave every conversation with a locked in next step. Give them the opportunity to make a decision on it. If they don't, give them the opportunity to tell you what the next step is. If you don't like that next step, you can still change it, right? We'll get back to you. Perfect. That's awesome. I'll call you Thursday if I haven't heard from you before then, or I'll call you Tuesday, or I'll call you tomorrow if I haven't heard from you before then. You're going to find that people are like, man, this guy wants the job. He's confident that he can do the job. He's actually asking for the job. Let's put him to the top of the pile here in the people that we're interviewing.
And that, it sounds like you taken the initiative.
Yeah.
Because I think that listening and seeing, if I had 6 people and the one person that said, hey, if I don't hear back from you, I'll give you like that in my head is like, oh,
Now, Ben, you own a thriving business, okay? I'm just going to ask you a question. Let's say somebody had the best resume ever. I worked for Shure Microphones. I did this. I helped build this studio for Pixar or whatever. Great. That's cool. That's hefty. But another person might be less qualified and go, Ben, I love it here. I understand the mission of what you're doing here with the studio. I believe I have every single capability you need in the next junior producer or whatever it is. I want to let you know you need to hear it from me. It goes without saying, I want this job, Ben. I can do this job. Does it make sense to give me the job? You're going to be like, Pixar person didn't even ask for it.
100%.
Right?
100%. And it also just shows that I could put my business in their hands because they are going to see how hard I've worked. This guy from Pixar, he's like, it's just another job, another cool, I already work for a high end, but if someone takes that initiative and they show the passion, the authenticity of being, hey, I am here for you. I want to show, that makes me feel, I now know that my business is in someone's hands that's going to take care of it like I would.
100,000%. But we both in dating and in our careers, isn't it weird that we're so afraid to say what really needs to be said? And I'm telling you guys, if you can learn to skillfully ask what you believe to be an uncomfortable question, Ben, you don't think it's an uncomfortable question as the business owner. I don't think it would be an uncomfortable question, but the person interviewing feels like it's an uncomfortable question. And by the way, that's all in their head. It's garbage, right? Don't listen to that voice. Knock that devil off your shoulder. That's life. Life is asking those questions that you're afraid to ask in a skillful way. You'll get the job you want. You'll get the boyfriend or girlfriend you want. Eventually get the spouse you want. Everything is on the other side of you asking for it, right? And this is why people that win the frickin' Powerball, Ben, are broke a month later. It's because it was handed to them. It was given to them. And they don't appreciate it. Darn it, guys. You have these job interviews and you're so emotional about this and you're laying around going, God, I really want that job. I hope they call me. Did you let them know that? Right? Did you let them know that? Because they have a decision to make and they want to go with the person that wants the job.
That's key. Wow. All right, so now we're bringing it a little bit closer to home.
All right.
So
is it from my wife? Like, what time are you going to be home?
No,
you're hanging out in the studio too much.
Too long. What are you doing over there? It's actually from Michelle, and she's down in Orlando.
Okay.
O-Town, Orlando, Florida.
It is O-Town, right? Wasn't there a band?
Yep.
And the guy took all their money. I think that was the one that he embezzled all the kids' money. I don't know. There was that bad dude that stole the boy band's money.
It might be. I don't know. We'll ask Michelle.
We'll ask Michelle.
So Michelle asks, if you could send one message to your kids that they would remember forever, what would it be?
Well, that's kind of heavy.
That's a huge question, Michelle.
I think a typical answer that, people might say is dream big, which I think that's kind of halfway right. But I think it's so important if you're a parent or you're talking to yourself or you're trying to coach a friend, let them know that like all the stuff that is out there that they could do, the people that have done it, they're normal human beings. They're not aliens. They're not robots. They don't have 12 arms. So yes, set your goals high, but then also take some time, get off the phone, look around in life and figure out, well, if I was going to do this, how would I do it? Like, is it humanly possible for me to achieve this goal? Yeah. If so, then how? That's how my kids are like, man, Dad, you work so hard. But the hard work isn't the reason why our family's where it's at right now. The entire reason I've achieved everything in my life is because I was like, man, I want that. I believe in that. I'm going to do that. And then I mapped out, how do you do it? right? That's how I got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's how I started businesses. That's how I was number one back at all the companies I worked for, is I actually sat down and went, is this possible to do? Sure, right? If so, how? So dream big. That's great. That should be on a poster with a cat hanging from a tree. But what really the small print in that poster needs to be, is it possible to do this? If the answer is yes, how? Spend 5 minutes ruminating or marinating on that, and then just do the things that you listed for the how, and good things will happen.
That was really funny, the whole cat with the poster, because I looked it up, and there is a
Yeah.
bunch of them. Dream big.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, but it's like, well, then where's and that's why we do all the answers, Ben, is I'm trying to give them the actual practical, actual actionable things to do. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Going a little away from home now. We got
All right.
Tom from Chicago.
All right.
He wants to know, what kind of busy work makes entrepreneurs feel productive but quietly kills growth?
Ooh. I don't want to piss you off, Ben. You're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Can we get real with each other here?
Please.
I would say the things that are busy work that entrepreneurs do, they spend way too much time on their marketing. They spend way too much time on their messaging, and they spend way, way, way too much time having conversations with people they don't need to be having conversations with about what they're going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a podcast. It's going to be the biggest one in the world. Let's spend 3 hours thinking about what color blue my jacket should be. You know, it's just talk. Entrepreneurs need to do. Now, the weird thing is, if you go back, okay, and traced all the entrepreneurs that you're a huge fan of that did things that you like, you'll probably find their marketing was crap. Most of them would probably change the name of their company if they could, but they're not gonna, because it's already a juggernaut of a company, because they spent time on, how is this helpful? How am I gonna help the world? How do I do things? And by the way, just sidebar, I'll throw this one in when I'm on an entrepreneurial rant here. You don't need to borrow money from anybody to start a business. You can start. It might take you a little bit longer. Like this studio costs millions and gajillions of dollars. You could start by working at a studio like this, by figuring out how to run a studio like this. You could start small. Any business you can start pretty much small, unless you're gonna start an airline. That's kind of expensive to get that piece of equipment. The other stuff, entrepreneurs spend way too much time. Well, once I get this and once I get this funding, we're gonna have the greatest color blue as our logo ever. Right? And our slogan is going to be this. Our mission statement's going to be that. It's just not helpful, right? Just spend time actually figuring out what's the product I'm going to deliver and how can I make it better.
You hit that one. You hit that one right on the head, because I see it all the time. Everyone talks and talks and talks, and
they don't do.
And it's just like, this is awesome. I love it. And you know what? I probably have fallen, to it as well.
That's why it's important. You got to be real careful what you talk about with your friends when you go to coffee.
Yes.
Okay. Don't talk politics. Don't talk negative stuff. And also don't talk to them about what you're going to do with your business as an entrepreneur, because what ends up happening, Ben, is you have to talk about what does it look like when it's a $30 million company, because that's interesting at coffee talk, not, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to call 10 people. They don't want to hear that stuff.
Exactly.
All the little stuff, by the way, success happens in the margins. Success happens in those 10 calls. Success happens before you even have the product. The marketing will work itself out, right? How you're going to spend the money and who's going to invest in the company will all work itself out later. Focus on the product. Focus on how you can help the world. If you can simply make the world a better place one day at a time, they're not going to care what color your logo is. You're going to do okay.
Love that. All right, we have Sarah from Pensacola.
Dang it. I wish it was Sarah from Sarasota.
Oh.
We can change where she's from. Sarah, you're moving.
Sarah,
you've been transferred.
Sarah from Sarasota.
Sarah. Is it about moving? Hopefully it's not about moving.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's not moving to Sarasota. Like the first 4 people were from the same. All right, Sarah, you got to move. We only take questions from people from Dwayne from Denver. All right, what do we got?
All right, so Sarah from Sarasota asks how to build a confident child without raising an entitled one.
Ooh. This is a good one. I think one of the first things to building, and it's funny because when we think about entitled child, I guess it's across the spectrum, but I always think about the cliche entitled kid, right?
Yeah,
the rich kid who got the BMW at
Yeah,
16.
I'm really genuinely, I want to hear this because I think this one hits home for me. Because I think I have the confidence but it was all from the roots. It was from my parents. And I want to hear what you have to say.
What's worked for me and the kind of stuff that I lay in bed at night thinking about, I think one of the best ways to not foster entitlement and to foster confidence, one of the easiest things that parents can do, and most parents don't do it, bring your damn kid into the conversation, right? Like, let them know what you're going through. Let them know what's going on at your work. And then ask them, even if they're 6 years old, hey, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? What you're going to find is they'll start to be more confident because you're treating them almost like a peer. I realize you're still the parent and you're still in control, but you're valuing their opinion. You're making them have to think critically, right? When you want somebody to be confident, the best thing to do is get them to think critically. Ask them how they would solve this problem. I'm not saying you have to go with their answer, but just ask them. And then what you're going to find is they're going to see all the hard work that goes into buying a car or taking this vacation because they've been in some way a part of all of the stuff that's going on in the background. If you want an entitled kid, don't let them know anything that goes on at your work. Don't let them know anything that you're worrying about. Just shut up and show up with the BMW because they're just going to think that BMWs come from magical jelly beans and everybody gets those. It's so important to just talk with your children at any age as if they were an adult. And by the way, I did this with my kids since they could speak. The answers, you'll love them, right? You can ask a 3-year-old. You can take them to IHOP. Like, you ever see yourself owning one of these? What do you think it takes to start an IHOP? They'll blow your mind with the answers. But what you're doing is you're building a foundation of a critical thinker. And if you can problem solve, you'll be more confident, right? The problem is we just either give a kid something or don't give them something, but they never see how the world works in the background. And I think the best way to kill entitlement is just with a deep understanding of how things actually work.
That's great. And also, if you don't mind me putting this in there, I also think I was in music really young, but my parents put me around an older group of kids, and I had to almost fend for myself, right? But I was put in these situations where I couldn't just go in it was me with a bunch of other people.
You were forced to level up.
Exactly.
Right? And even if you're like, well, I can't afford to put my kid with these kids, ask them questions like an adult, right? Force your kid to level up and think critically. And here's the thing. You don't have to have an agenda. You don't have to say you're wrong or you screwed that up, right? Just cause them to level up a little bit. And even if they mess up, their confidence is going to go way up.
Love it. All right. We got another one.
Okay.
Alex from Arizona.
Oh, you made it, Arizona. I love it. He's probably from Poughkeepsie. He's like, well, it's not me.
So Alex wants to know the one sentence that instantly raises your status in a sales conversation.
One sentence that instantly raises your status in a sales I mean, there's a lot. I could give a lot. I'm going to give, Ben, can I give you one that nobody talks about in sales that will instantly raise your status? I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but this is super helpful. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Right? What did I just do? So many people in sales feel like they've got to tell somebody they're making a mistake. They've got to beg them. They've got to do this. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Back to the previous conversations about the job interviews, right? It's you need to let people know you want the job. You understand the job. It's also okay to be like, listen, Ben, I want to let you know, okay? I want to work here. I'm confident that I can work here. I am also having conversations with 3 other companies, okay? This is my first choice. I want to work here, but I also have to feed myself. If you have a family, I have to feed my family. And if we extend this out, I'm going to have to accept one of those other offers. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, right? When you let somebody know that it's okay for them to make a decision that goes against what you want them to do, what you'll find is they'll want to go your way. The more, and I learned this in jiu-jitsu very early on, the more you push on somebody, the more they push back, the more they're skeptical, the more they think you have an agenda. Just let them know, hey, I want this account. I understand your guys' situation better than anybody. Based on everything you told me, I want you guys to have the software so you can get from 40 million to 80 million. Does it make sense for us to load the software, right? Well, we can't do it. We're going to table this until next year. Right? Let them know, hey, next year our pricing could change. I might not have the team available to install it. As long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. If we can get this started now, we're going to get you on that road to 80 a lot sooner. Don't push them. Let them know. Make them own the decision of not doing what you want to do. And most people, their fear of loss and their fear of having to own that bad decision will outweigh anything times 1,000 that you can do in pushing. Well, can we do this right now? What if I could take 5% off right now? Right? Be confident, be cool, and let them know it's okay for them to not go your way, but they got to own that.
Own it.
Own it. Make them own it.
That's it.
Make them own
it. That is. Oh, I love that. All right. Emily from Tennessee. I know. I thought maybe, but I don't think there's any states to start with E.
No.
So
it's from the Emirates. From United Arab Emirates. We're doing it reverse. It's the Emirates that are united in Arabia.
There you go. So Emily from Tennessee asks, what's the simplest daily habit? I'm sorry, what's the simplest daily habit that can change someone's life the fastest?
I'm not going to tell her. She's not going to do it.
What?
You want to see what it is? They won't do it. I got one with me right now. Always do. There it is. Emily from United Arab Emirates, a.k.a. Tennessee, Murfreesboro in Saudi Arabia, same thing. Create your own little daily goal sheet, okay? By the way, on Easton University, I'm not trying to plug, but like go to eastonuniversity.com/goals. There's a whole like 45-minute session on how to build this. Don't ask me for the template. Make your dang own. All this is so this is something you're going to do nice for yourself. It's not a picture of your family, not a picture of your kids, because they're going to love you whether you hit what you want. But just simply the best thing you can do for yourself is manage yourself every day. So every morning I wake up, I write my goals. I make X amount per year. There's a big number there. We were talking about this earlier in the show. Ben, there it is. I do not complain because I complain, right? So that's something I'm trying to get to be a non-complainer. And then I drive a 1955 300 SL Going. Boy, it's a stretch goal. But I write my goals down as if I've already achieved them. I used to write down for years and years, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I used to write down I'm married to the woman of my dreams. I am both of those things right now. Thank God she's not a black belt in jiu-jitsu because I'd have some stuff to worry about. So write down your goals. Make one of these sheets for yourself. It's Word, Google Doc. It's easy. Write down your goals every morning as if you've already achieved them. And then what you need to do is track. If you want to start getting confident, if you want to feel good, write down things that you need to do every day, whether you feel like it or not. Okay, like by the way, I need to check that one off. I did it right before the episode. My second shake for the day, because I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to drink 2 of these shakes a day. Okay, I have video edits in there. I have calls I need to make. I have all kinds of stuff. 30-minute workout. Haven't done that. I have 2 of those I have to do. That might not happen today. But every day I track the stuff I need to do every day to hit these goals. And then I write down my must-dos. Okay, I had 2 lives today. And then it says All the Answers podcast. Thank you. I'm here with you right now. And then I track my wins. Guess what my first one was on the list today, Ben?
What was it?
I woke up. I can almost not read my handwriting because I hadn't had my coffee yet. I woke up feeling awesome. I just wrote it down, right? I just wrote it down on my sheet. Carry these things around. I check off the sheet. By the way, it goes back to one of our other answers, okay? Whether somebody buys from me or not, whether good things happen to me or not, I know I've done the stuff that I need to do to have the life that I want to have, right? And when you can track it on a daily basis, is it a little bit of work? Yes. Will it change your life? 1,000%. It will change your life. But like I said before, most people aren't going to do it. Every single person that I've come into contact with through Easton University or wherever it is that has started doing this, literally within months, they're like, oh, I wish I set bigger goals. I wish I set bigger ones. It's too easy. Right? It is too easy when you track it every day. When you don't, you get to it tomorrow.
Great. All right. Now we're taking it. We got Jordan from Jamaica.
I thought you were going to say Jordan from Jordan.
I was going to say that, but he's not from there.
Wherever Jordan's really from. Is his name really Jordan?
It is Jordan.
Okay.
It is Jordan.
All
right. So Jordan wants to know how to handle criticism, hate, and negative comments without letting them get to you. And this is a big one. I think even some of my audience and the people at Podcast Junkies will benefit from this because all day long people get hate comments. And, let's hear what your thoughts.
Okay, first off, you check yourself before you wreck yourself. If it's all hate comments and you're being an a-hole, okay, there's your answer. Don't be an a-hole. But here's the cool thing. If you've really thought about what you're doing, and let's say you're starting your own little channel here or your own little podcast, and you're like, this is good stuff. I love it, right? I'm providing value to the world. And you start getting hate comments, congratulations. The algorithm has now decided that you're worthy to show it to other people than your friend that likes everything. And she's not even your friend. She just likes your stuff because she wants you to think she's your friend, but she hopes your podcast fails, right? That's life. If you can get half the people in the world to hate you, you're well on your way to being president, right? You realize it's a good thing when you have haters. And I'm not saying, oh, it fuels me. I'm saying ignore it, right? If you want to, on your channel, delete those. Knock them out, right? Clean up on aisle 5, right? Somebody dropped the ketchup in aisle 13. Just go over there with a mop it up, get rid of it. But know this, it's a good thing that somebody dropped ketchup in aisle 13 because it means people are shopping in my store. If you're not getting negative comments, nobody's reading your stuff. Why? We talked about this earlier in the podcast, guys. People are negative. People talk a lot of smack. People complain. It's a sport, right? They look at your stuff trying to find something. That jacket is stupid. Somebody right now is like, that's a ridiculous jacket. I don't care, right? Comment, ridiculous jacket. It just means that you are probably seeing me for the first time. Hi, want to be friends? I'm here for you. I'll get you all the answers. So that's the way you handle that stuff, is realize it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It means you're being seen. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, that's what I kind of let them know. Sometimes hate comments, you're being seen. The
new audiences.
It's a new audience, and
those people will end up loving you later.
Exactly.
Right?
You're like, oh, I saw this guy, and now I kind of like him.
Right.
I mean,
I've
seen him now 7 times.
He ain't so bad. I hate the jacket, but he ain't so bad.
Exactly.
He's kind of cool.
They start listening because a lot of people visually see, and they're like, oh, this, but then they go, oh, this guy's actually really...
Yeah, he cares.
He cares,
Right.
So.
He cares. Yeah.
All right. So now we've got Chris from Charlestown. Chris from Charlestown.
All right.
He wants to know the biggest parenting mistake high-achieving people make without realizing it.
The biggest parenting mistake that high-achieving people make without realizing it. I'm going to say, Ben, it's the mother effing iPads. It is the mother effing phones. It is the mother effing technology. You have done all this. I'm talking to you, high-achieving parent. You have done all of this work to achieve a lot of stuff, to go out to dinner, to go to the nice places, to go on the aeroplane. I didn't get to go on one of those when I was a kid. To go on vacations at great places, and because you don't want to be bothered, by the way, the bothering lasts 2 times and then they get over it, with your kid actually asking questions or talking, right? And you having to discipline, what do? You shoot an iPad under them, and they're sitting there at an $1,100 dinner watching, whatever the thing with the thing is, bouncing around on getting hit by the algorithm. It's not cool. Here's the thing. If you're a high-achieving parent, make your kid have to observe the room. Ask them, hey, if we had to leave here right now, what door would you go out? right? Back to my other thing, hey, if you wanted to own a place like this, how would you do it? I'm just curious. How would you do it? Have adult conversations with your kids, even if they're 3. You'll love the answers. When kids answer adult questions at 3, like how would you start a business? You might even figure out how to make the next whatever it is in your industry. But what we do, not me, but what high achievers do, and I see it almost across the board, they don't want to be bothered with it. They'll parent later, right? They'll put their kid in a $50,000 a year kindergarten, but when life happens in the margins, it happens at the dinner, it happens in asking them questions, it happens in the conversation. And yeah, you might have to take them out in the parking lot once or twice and be like, dude, that is unacceptable behavior from here, right? We're going to leave, and you ruined it for everybody. You have 1 or 2 of those, they knock it off. But if you just hand them an iPad, this is why we have little monsters yelling in the middle of a $1,100 dinner because nobody ever treated them like a human being, right? And they're used to acting like life happens in front of them on a screen. So knock the technology off, get the kid involved in the conversation. You're going to love what they have to say, right? And if you don't keep talking to them, they'll figure out how to think critically, and they'll impress you soon enough.
And this kind of the scariest thing is we don't really know what those iPad kids are going to
I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm going to say something, and please don't cancel me, guys, because I just couldn't think of a better term. I'm not saying this in a bad way, but see, I'm a kid of the 70s and the 80s, and in the late 80s, 90s, we called it, it was crack baby, right? The mom had a problem, right? And it was,
of course.
Sad.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, will we have that term in 15 years? Oh, they were an iPad baby. Right?
I'm so
right? Yeah. Give them.
They're in their cubicle over there by themselves because
iPad.
That's the iPad,
right?
That's actually
and the scary thing is, I don't know how many people were smoking cocaine, but there's a lot more people with iPads. So if it is a problem, we got a big one coming up here. So guys, if you have kids, let's just have some conversations with them. And the problem where they're like, I don't want to talk to my kids, I'm just so caught up in everything that's going on with the merger. Ask your 7-year-old, what would you do in a merger? What are they going to say? What's a merger? Explain it to them. You're going to be shocked at how they'll give you some answers by you having to, by the way, I'm just going to give you a tip as an entrepreneur and a business owner. If you can explain your problems to a 6, 7, or 8-year-old, you will have mastered that problem. It's a win for everybody involved, including me that's in the booth behind you listening to them yell because they have the freaking noise canceling headphones on and they're watching whatever it is. I don't know what the hell they're watching, and I think their parents don't either. Have a damn conversation. Trust me. You'll feel better. They'll feel better. And we won't later on down the road be like, oh, that they were an iPad baby. Give them some grace.
All right, so, Matt, I got 2 more questions for you.
Right.
The next one actually does pertain to kids and children and all that stuff. So Danielle from Denver. Gotcha.
I'm now starting to see, Ben, that you don't know where these people are from, but I like it. Danielle from Denver, from D-Town.
That's your town.
Was,
yeah.
Boca Raton is my town. Love you, Florida. So beautiful and warm here.
So Danielle asks, the best way to teach kids how to handle failure.
The best way to teach kids how to handle failure. Kind of going back to a theme we've run into a bunch here. We're far too quick to try and make them feel better. Ask them, what did you learn from that? Right? Ask them, how does that feel? God, that feels like it sucks, right? Put a label on it. Man, seems like that was a real letdown, right? Feels like you really wanted to do better on that test. Like, is there anything you figured out from this that you would change in the future? Like, making somebody feel better shows that you have no confidence in them, right? Nothing is going to make somebody feel better. And this isn't kids. I do this with my employees, right? If you had an employee and they screwed up and you're like, it is what it is. They don't leave that meeting going, well, at least they believe in me. But if you have an employee and they screw up and they're like, man, that sucks. That must feel like crap. Like that was really embarrassing how that meeting went, right? What would you do differently next time? Right? It shows that you believe in them. It shows that you're vested in them. So ask them what they would do. Ask them how it feels. Make them unpack that. And then a little bonus on there too. And I am not saying don't tell your kids you're proud of them. Tell your kids you're proud of them. It's great. It's like a hug. But hugs only develop a person so much. When they do well or they do fail, switch I'm still proud of you or I am proud of you to you should be proud of yourself. Right? What did you do? What would you do differently? Man, you know what? We lost this game because I half-assed it at practice and I really need to go do stick and puck or I need to do my stick handling. You know what? You should be real proud of yourself because you figured out where the gaps were in your hockey game or your math scores. And it sounds like, it seems like, it feels like you've got a plan here to correct this. I believe in you, right? Like, it's amazing how fast we jump to, I just want to make the pain of my child go away. And I understand that. But here's the problem. It doesn't. When you tell them it doesn't matter, when you tell them they're still a winner, even though they lost 12-0, they're not. And they know that. And what they also know is you kind of don't believe in them, right? So ask them, man, how does that feel? How do you prevent this from happening again? Ask them what their plan is. And when they give you a plan, it doesn't have to be the best plan. Be like, dude, you should be proud of yourself. At least you're working on a plan to improve. And I believe in you, and I know you're going to make improvements. It's funny, but I hate to have a general theme here. We just think kids need to be treated like puppies. They're not. They're just small humans, right? And they are. You can have adult conversations with kids, and that's how you end up with confident, thriving young adults, and hopefully adults.
Adult adults.
Adult
that
adults.
Is key right there. No kid adults, right?
No kid adults.
Yeah. All right. Last question. It's from Natalia.
Oh, let me guess. She's from what starts with an N?
Come on, tell me.
New Jersey?
Oh man, New England.
New England.
New England.
She likes the chowder.
She likes the
The
clam
chowder.
chowder.
I like the chowder. By the way, I like the chowder too. I didn't know, Ben, there's a different New England clam chowder. That's the white stuff. That's the good stuff. Where's that red stuff from?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
No. I don't. It's a totally different soup.
It's not even a chowder.
No, it's not.
It's not.
You can't put it in the bread.
There's
I
only
mean, probably
one
could.
clam chowder. It's
Exactly.
from New England with the Patriots.
Chowder. All right.
Was that her question?
No. Where's the best?
Where's the best chowder?
Chowder.
I don't know. Concat.
So she asks, what's the most important boundary that protects your peace in a relationship?
My peace in a relationship, her peace in a relationship.
I think honestly, peace in relationships in general. Yeah.
It's another one. I'm going to give you the answer. You're probably not going to do it. Okay. Some people might, even if you wanted to do it, might not be able to do it. If you're not able to do it, put your mask on first before helping others. You need to know, and I'm not saying you can't change this, but you need to know what your dreams are, what your hopes are for life, what your goals are for life. And it is okay for you in a relationship to allow that other person to tell that other person, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I will do. This is what I won't do. I will not give up on my dreams. Get that out of the way early, right? Because when you don't tell somebody where you're headed and you keep that stuff to yourself, you end up feeling like crap because they're not respecting you. At least give them an opportunity to know where your boundaries are. And I'm not saying my boundaries are you can't talk loud to me. My boundaries are I want to have children one day. My boundaries are I want to work to elevate the family that I'm a part of. And don't say that on the first date. It'd be really creepy. But as the relationship evolves, it's your job to bring that other person into, let them know what the script is. Right. And if the other person, they don't even have to support them all the way, but they have to know that those are your goals. Right. And they have to know that that's what you're working on, and they need to respect that. And if they don't, they weren't the right person for you to be with. But the problem is we just go, well, I just need somebody to go out with, and they don't even know us really as a person. And that's where we feel like they're walking all over us. They're not. They're just in a different script for a different movie. They're in the Happy Feet movie and you're in the airplane movie. And it's like, of course you're going to feel like your boundaries are being stepped on because it's freaking penguins that are dancing. Was it CGI? I don't remember. I can't remember. Let them know what your script is.
Yeah, and that's going to be the last of the questions. I mean, I have a whole list here.
Okay.
And I mean,
if you had a question and it wasn't answered and your first initial matches the city or state that you live in, that's all just write your question. We will guess at your location and our guests will probably match your name, but put it in the DMs, comment here, leave a comment. You know where to find me, all the answers. Find me wherever you find me, whatever you platform. Like it, because hopefully it's positive and you want more positive stuff in your life. Hi, new best friend. Or you're like, I hate the jackets. Feel free to comment. I probably won't delete it. I might, but I probably won't. But put your questions, put your stuff in there. I will see it. Producer Ben will see it. Somebody will see it. And I will get you all the answers.